Hi, today I will talk about the week one lecture, fundamental of data management. So we talk about the type of data storage. So the need of storing information. So everything human does do relies on information. Just to broad a trend, we need a timetable and direction to correct platform. In many situations, we need access to specific information that we require by automated queries. Electronic devices help us find the most useful information quickly. In business, we have to store information about the interaction with customer and business partner. Not knowing the details of customers' order and the order total will be disastrous for a business. There are three things here. We will talk about the unstructured data, semi-structured data, and structured data. Unstructured data has no pre-described form. Every collection of data is presented differently. Since there is no structure, number of often mixed with text, and therefore the only data type used is text. Semi-structured data has some structure, which is often a tree. It may or may not have a schema. There may be variation between the structure, or the structure may be loose so that it can accommodate later variation. Structured data has a rigid description of all parts of the data, which have defined types and relationship. Structure must be enforced. The initial instruction way of storing data was based on manual data processing. When computing became mainstream, automated processing led to a structured approach when EF Code developed the relational model in 1970. The relational model has been researched for 40 years and many standard implementation exist. In the mid-19th, when object-oriented programming language became very popular, object-oriented database began to emerge. The initial implementation, however, had performance problems and were never widely accepted. Around the same time, the emergence of World Wide Web opened up possibility for mining information from diverse sources. The lack of common structure of such information led to the need for semi-structured approach. XML has finally ratified by the World Wide Web Consortium in 1998, and large number of applications and libraries for XML parsing started to emerge. XML-based databases were also developed. Over time, the wordy syntax of XML was regarded as a major drawback, and JSON was adopted as less bulky alternative. Manual information management used paper-based file were used widely up to 70s. The first computer program emulated the paper-based note at first, and human operator had to interpret the file. So it became clear that there was great potential for further automation. If the data were to be structured, computer program could make sense of them themselves, possibly even extracting information and communicating it to other computers without human intervention. Documents like invoice can be seen as structured or semi-structured. They usually follow an implicit schema. The due date is always on the same line, as are the prices and totals. Such invoices also contain additional information as text, which will add an unstructured part and make them semi-structured. Apart from the problem of computer having a hard time extracting facts from unstructured data, most of the unstructured data leads to redundancy, unnecessary duplication. It is also a good way of filling up storage space. When there are several versions of the same piece of information, at some point there will be inconsistency. After a while, the different files will contradict each other. One major list table costs 119, the others 135. Computers have made searching documents faster compared to human reading through them, but unstructured data is most often free text and difficult for a program to interpret. Even if find the number in the text, the program cannot tell whether the means laptop, printers, or an iPhone without very sophisticated software. Running sophisticated software takes even more time. Searching for a keyword in a large document is a time-consuming affair because the search is sequential and often requires repeated access to the hard disk. When the storage format of the data is highly structured, each piece of data has an exactly defined type and attribute name. Generally, there is a software that manages the data, and this software enforces the data type. If the DAT format is wrong, the DAT will not be accepted. This goes a long way toward avoiding errors. Even when the information is chopped up into small pieces, the structure of the format still groups in the pieces in a way that makes it rather obvious what the data is about. In this table, we can still guess that John Lee had received 5 tables on 5 February 2016, and we do not even know the schema of the database. In general, users of structured data are expected to know the schema to be able to work with the data. A relation database consists of several tables called relations with tuple and rows. The tuples are defined so that they describe a single entity, a person such as a customer or an order or a company. Because the relations are structured, they contain tuples with equivalent data. All rows of the table have same attribute with the same data type, only different values. There often are natural relationships between the entities, and therefore the table contains links to other tables which are called foreign key. One of the challenges is that often we need information that consists of data from several tables, and the entities have to be combined. This is a complex process that can be computationally expensive. An entire query language called SQL has been developed to provide a multitude of ways to combine and filter data. Because XML elements are nested, they form a tree structure. The more enclosing element, the lower the element is in the tree. For a computer to make sense of the document, the structure has to be defined. There are two formats that can describe XML document formats. First one, we call it a DTD, document type definition, and the second one, XML schema. XML, for machine readability, XML documents are often designed to have every piece of data encased in separate text, adding structure. But this is not a requirement. Whoever designs XML document have to make the decision what elements are needed and how they are structured. Dealing with unstructured data is still a practical problem for many people face. Applications including database write long files which can get very long. This example is the access log of Apache, the most popular web server software. Apache log are very interesting read for hosting company, partly because they have identified security risks and partly because the company allowed who is viewing the website hosted. Log files are not only example of unstructured data that can be useful. Analyzing Facebook posts and Twitter feed is the favorite pastime of many marketing companies and flourish research area. Text editors are designed to show the text without formatting. They are used to display text data and have to find the item in the data, replace item or delete item. They do not format the text if human cannot read the content. They have to rely on search tool to get the desired information. Word processors are designed to format text into document that human can read. Although they do have search functionality, they should not be used for the processing of large text data. If you do use them, take care not to store the data in word processing formats such as DOCX. Word processing program add formatting and other metadata to the text, and it becomes almost impossible to use text processing tool in this data. The file also become even larger in property file type. From the beginning of time, the Unix operating system, the basis of the Mac and Linux, has offered powerful command line tools that can search and manipulate large text files. A large number of GUI-based tools are available online, many of them free of charge. Most reasonably advanced text editor can handle regular expression. Some of the tools available can even integrate with word processor. Any programming language has libraries to access the file system and read text file. It is easy to implement a Texas and specific way of changing the document. In the textures, there are situations where the same concept is printed in slightly different character. Upper and lowercase character can be used depending on whether a word is at the beginning of a sentence. We may want to find a word that can be used in compound or by itself. If we only want to match the word when it mentioned is own, we have to check whether it is followed by space or line fit. We can either do such or we can use regular expression to catch both. Similarly, many words are spelled slightly differently in American and Australian text. Again, we can search for versions separately, or we can use regular expression. Even when you are trying to find an exact word, you may find similar word you don't want. In this case, you may want to specify that the word has to have a space after it and before it. Most text editor will let you type a space before and after the search word, but this will not cover line fit or full stops. Using the smaller than and greater than character escape by backslashes around a word identify only parts of text which this word stand alone, be it at beginning and the end of the middle of the sentences. Square bracket indicate choice. You can indicate the choice individually by listing them within the square brackets, or you can use ranges. Whichever you use, you are matching one character, not several. A single occurrence of square bracket matches a single character, one of the options listed in the square brackets. It does not match several characters or zero characters. If we have S and Z in square bracket, only either S or Z is matched at a time. If they both occur in the text one after the other, this is not a match. The question of color is different. Here there is no choice between characters. There is a U or there no U. So the options are 0 or no 1U. To do this, we have to study quantifiers. The question mark can help specify that the particular character can be absent. If you want to specify the character can be absent, but there can also be any number of such characters, we use the asterisk. If you want to ensure that there is at least one such character, but there can be more. All we have to do match both the American and Australian spelling in color is place question mark behind the U character. As we know, this means that there can be 0 or no 1U. Another example is matching number plates. The standard Victorian format is 3 letters and 3 digits. As we know what the letters are, we can specify them and add a space with a question mark. If we state the number 0, 9 and add a plus, there can be any of digit but at least one. In the simple case, we can repeat the option and time all to match all occurrence that exactly and characters to match our opponent. It is easier to state the number in curly braces. A single number means exactly this number of occurrence. Two numbers separately by a comma means between minimum and a maximum. There are so many symbols in regular expression, but these are the most relevant. The uppercase equivalent, which mean all character, but the one indicated by the lowercase. So D is every character but a number. The full stop is not very useful because it matches so many characters, but having it means if you need to find a real point or full stop, you have to escape with it a black slash. So this is an example of the member best television series for about a private detective. So as summary, there are 6 unstructured data is here to say unstructured data is often voluminous. Searching multiple unstructured data is special challenge. Many methods exist to make this easier. Word processor should be used for the text that are written for human reading. Lastly, finding string in large data set is easier when you know regular expression. So the example. So any question about the slide, you can ask directly in the Canvas discussion. I think that's all. Okay, thank you.